My best friend called me, voice filled with panic. Your fiance is in the hospital. You need to see this for yourself. I arrived to find her on life support and her secret boyfriend arguing with the nurses. I didn't say a word, just left the ring on her pillow and walked out. I was at work when my phone buzzed on my desk. It was an odd time for a call from Mike, my best friend since college. His voice trembled with urgency. Jake, it's about Anna. She's in the hospital. You need to come now. My heart pounded. What happened? It's bad. Just get here. I grabbed my keys and rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan. The drive was a blur of honking horns and red lights. My mind raced with worst-case scenarios. At the hospital, the sterile smell and bright lights made everything feel surreal. I approached the front desk. I'm here for Anna Thompson. The nurse's face softened. Room 306. Third floor. I took the stairs two at a time. On the third floor, I spotted Mike pacing. His face was pale, eyes bloodshot. Mike, where is she? He hesitated. Jake, there's something you should know. Before he could finish, I pushed past him into the room. The sight stopped me cold. Anna lay motionless, connected to machines that beeped rhythmically. Tubes and wires snaked around her pale form. But it was the man beside her that caught my attention. He was arguing with a nurse, his face contorted with frustration. Sir, you need to step outside, the nurse insisted. I'm her boyfriend. I have every right to be here, he shot back. Boyfriend? I felt the blood drain from my face. The room spun. Mike's hand was suddenly on my shoulder, steadying me. Jake, I tried to tell you. I couldn't process it. Anna and I had been together for 3 years, engaged for 1. We were planning our wedding. And now this stranger claimed to be her boyfriend? The man turned to me, realization dawning on his face. You must be Jake. I couldn't speak. The betrayal cut deeper than any words could express. The nurse intervened. Please, both of you need to leave. This is neither the time nor place. Without a word, I reached into my pocket, pulled out the engagement ring I'd been carrying since Anna's accident, and placed it gently on her pillow. It gleamed under the harsh hospital lights, a symbol of broken promises. I turned and walked out, each step heavier than the last. Mike followed silently. Outside, the city buzzed with life, oblivious to the turmoil inside me. I leaned against the cold brick wall, trying to catch my breath. Jake, I'm so sorry. I found out when they called me as her emergency contact. I thought you knew. I shook my head, still unable to form words. Over the next few days, details emerged. Anna had been seeing this man, Tom, for over a year. They met during her yoga classes. Their affair was an open secret among her friends, who assumed I knew. The accident happened when they were together. She had a seizure, and he brought her to the hospital. The betrayal was multifaceted. Anna's infidelity, her friend's silence, the public nature of it all. I felt like a fool. I took time off work, needing space to think. Nights were the hardest. Sleep eluded me, and when it came, dreams of Anna haunted me. One evening, Mike visited with a six-pack and a listening ear. You need to confront her, Jake. For closure. The next day, I returned to the hospital. Anna was awake, her eyes widening with guilt when she saw me. Jake, she began. I held up a hand. Don't. I just need to understand why. Tears streamed down her face. I never meant to hurt you. I felt lost, and Tom, he was there. But I love you. Love? You call this love? I gestured to the machines, the room, the situation. She sobbed. I was going to end it. Before the wedding. I swear. I took a deep breath, the weight of her words settling in. It's too late, Anna. We're done. Leaving the hospital, a strange sense of relief washed over me. The confrontation, though painful, provided the closure I needed. Months passed. I focused on work, therapy, and rebuilding. Trust was hard to come by, but with time, I began to heal. One day, I received a letter from Anna. She apologized, not expecting forgiveness, but wanting me to know she was seeking help for her issues. I didn't respond, but I appreciated the sentiment. Life moved on. The scars remained, but they served as reminders of lessons learned. Trust is fragile, and love, while beautiful, can be devastating when betrayed. But with pain comes growth. And I was determined to grow. It was about 6 months later when the next wave hit. By then, I had settled into a quiet rhythm. Work, gym, home, repeat. I was even talking to someone new, Leah, a nurse I met during my volunteer shifts at the hospital. Things weren't serious, but she was kind and calm, and I needed that. Then Mike called again. Jake, man, I didn't want to be the one to say this, but I just got off the phone with her brother. Anna's pregnant. I stood frozen in my kitchen, phone to my ear, heart hammering again like it did the day I saw her in that hospital bed. What do you mean she's pregnant? I said, trying to stay calm. Due in a few months. Apparently, there's talk it might not be Tom's. People are whispering, saying things. My stomach turned. Not because I still loved her, I didn't, but because this felt like unfinished business I had tried to bury. 2 days later, I got a message. From Anna. Can we talk? Please. Just once. I stared at the screen for what felt like hours. Against my better judgment, I said yes. We met at a coffee shop in Astoria, not far from where she used to live. She looked different. Thinner. Tired. Her hands shook a little when she held her cup. Thank you for coming, she said softly. I said nothing. Just watched her. I'm sorry for all of it, she started. But I need to tell you the truth. The whole truth. It's not fair if you don't know. I raised my eyebrows. The baby? She nodded. It's not Tom's. I leaned back, heart pounding. You're saying it's mine? She nodded again, this time slower. The timing, it was before everything. Before the hospital. I only realized after you left. I didn't want to drag you into this, but I don't know what to do. I looked at her, and for a second, I saw the woman I once loved. But that vision quickly faded under the weight of everything she'd done. I wanted to believe she was lying, manipulating me, but the dates made sense. And deep down, I knew. Why now? I asked. Because I'm scared, she whispered. And because I don't want to raise this baby on a lie. I don't expect anything from you, but you deserve to know. I left without saying much else. My head was spinning. I told Mike. I told Leah. I even told my mom. Everyone had an opinion, but no one could make the decision for me. 3 weeks later, I agreed to a paternity test. And yeah, turns out the baby was mine. That's when everything flipped again. I started getting texts from Tom. Stay away from her. You abandoned her. Don't act like some hero now. I ignored them at first. But then he showed up at my office one afternoon, waiting by my car like some scene out of a bad movie. She's mine, he said, walking up close. She doesn't need your guilt or your cash. Back off. I didn't hit him. I wanted to, but I didn't. I just got in my car and drove off. That night, Anna called again, crying this time. He's getting aggressive, Jake. I think he followed me the other day. I'm scared. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to help. Another part still couldn't believe I was in this mess. I'm not getting back with you, Anna, I said plainly. But I won't let you go through this alone. Not if that child is mine. So we started talking more. I went with her to doctor visits. I kept things strictly about the baby. But people talked. Leah backed away. I didn't blame her. The weeks passed and the due date got closer. Tom kept circling like a vulture, showing up in places he didn't belong. Once, I caught him watching Anna's building from his car. I called the cops. They warned him, but it didn't stop. Then, one night, Anna called me sobbing. He broke in, Jake. He pushed me. I locked myself in the bathroom. Please, please help me. I was already in the car before she finished the sentence. When I got there, the door was busted open. Tom was gone, but she was shaking, crumpled on the bathroom floor, holding her stomach. The ambulance came fast. So did the police. They found Tom the next morning, drunk and rambling in a park nearby. He was arrested for assault and trespassing. Anna was okay. So was the baby. But that night changed everything. I sat in the hospital waiting room alone again, just like before. Same walls, same lights, same feeling in my chest. I don't know what the future looks like. I don't even know what I want anymore. But I do know this. My life stopped being simple the day I walked into that hospital room and saw her on life support. Everything since has been a slow unraveling of truth, pain, and responsibility I never asked for, but can't walk away from. And somehow, I'm still standing in the middle of it. 2 weeks after the hospital scare, everything felt like it was finally calming down. Anna had a restraining order against Tom. She was staying with her sister in Brooklyn for a while, and we agreed I'd help with the baby once he was born, but that we'd keep our personal lives separate. That arrangement worked until it didn't. It started with an envelope in my mailbox. No return address. Inside were photos, grainy, taken from a distance, of me walking with Anna outside the hospital, of us sitting at a diner together, of her holding my arm as she nearly slipped on ice. And one photo of us in my car. Nothing happened, but from the angle, it looked like she was leaning in close to me. There was a sticky note inside. Leah deserves better. You're playing both sides. I had no idea who sent it. Leah hadn't spoken to me in over a month, but I still respected her enough to be furious. I called her. She didn't answer. I drove to her place. She met me at the door, arms folded. Someone left pictures at my work, she said before I could speak. My boss handed them to me like I was part of a scandal. Leah, I swear nothing happened between me and Anna. She looked at me, tired and sad. I believe you, Jake. But I can't live in a story like this. It's too messy. I care about you, but you're not mine to care about anymore. And just like that, another thread unraveled. I tried to move on, focused on prepping for the baby. But then Anna called me again, her voice cold and shaking. I think someone broke into my sister's place. Tom? I asked. No. He's still locked up. This wasn't him. Nothing was taken. But they left something. What? A single baby sock. Right in the middle of the crib. The police didn't find fingerprints. No cameras picked anything up. Whoever did it was careful. The next week, my apartment was broken into. Nothing stolen. Nothing touched except a ripped photo of me and Anna from years ago, torn down the middle and left on my kitchen counter. This was no longer just about drama. This was a warning. From someone who knew both our lives intimately. I dug deeper. I started watching the people around us. Friends, neighbors, even Mike. Mike, who had always been there. Who had introduced me to Leah. Who had known about Anna's affair before I did. One night, I asked him straight up, "You hiding something from me, Mike?" He froze. What are you talking about? Someone's playing games. Sending stuff to Leah. Breaking into our places. I'm not paranoid. Something's going on. His face went pale. Jake. There's something I didn't tell you. About Anna. About back when she was seeing Tom. What? They weren't exclusive. She was seeing another guy too. For months. I blinked. Another guy? He nodded. Some guy named Matt. I only met him once. He was quiet. Intense. Didn't like being ignored. Why didn't you say anything? I thought it didn't matter after everything blew up. I didn't want to throw more fuel on the fire. But it did matter. Because whoever Matt was, he was unaccounted for. And if he had feelings for Anna, even after everything, he might be the one doing this. I told Anna. She went silent. I remember Matt, she said quietly. He was nice at first. Too nice. Then weird. Jealous. I ended it after 2 months. He didn't take it well. Did he know about me? She nodded. I think so. I'm not sure. I felt sick. Whoever this Matt was, he could be watching us. Following us. Maybe he had been all along. Then came the night of the baby shower. It was small, just Anna's close family. I showed up with a gift, kept my distance. Tried to smile. Halfway through, a package was delivered. No one claimed it. No name on the label. Inside was a single item, a rattle, carved from wood, hand-painted. And underneath it, a message burned into the bottom. Children inherit the sins of their parents. We called the cops again, but they had nothing. No prints, no camera footage, nothing that could tie it to anyone. That night, Anna called me in tears. I want to leave the city. I didn't blame her, but I couldn't just run. Not until I knew what was going on. I dug into everything I could find about Matt. I remembered his last name from one of Anna's old texts, Kessler. I found a Facebook profile, inactive for years. I found an old LinkedIn, no recent jobs. Then I found an obituary. Matt Kessler, 33, deceased, overdose, 9 months ago. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I called Anna. He's dead, I said. She was quiet for a long time. Then who the hell is doing all this? And just like that, the ground shifted again. If it wasn't Tom, if it wasn't Matt, then someone else was involved. Someone who knew. Someone we hadn't even considered. And then it hit me. Someone who always knew where I was. Who I talked to. Who I trusted with everything. Mike. I didn't want to believe it, but when I showed up at his place unannounced and found a shoebox of photos under his bed, all marked with dates and locations I had never told him about, my stomach dropped. Not just photos of me and Anna. Photos of Leah. Photos of Anna's sister. Photos of me sleeping, driving, eating lunch at work. And on top of the stack, a baby sock. The same kind Anna had found in the crib. I didn't touch anything. I walked out, called the police. Then I sat in my car and shook. This wasn't about Anna anymore. This was about control. Obsession. And the worst part? I still didn't know how deep it went. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my car outside Mike's place until sunrise, the box of photos still on my passenger seat. I didn't need the cops to tell me what I already knew. My best friend, my only real friend, had been behind everything. The messages, the stalking, the break-ins. I replayed every conversation we ever had. The way he always just happened to be around. How he found out about Anna. How he introduced me to Leah. How he always encouraged me to confront things, be around her, stay involved. He wasn't helping me heal. He was making sure I never did. That morning, 2 officers showed up to his apartment. I didn't go inside. I couldn't. But I watched through the window as he argued, resisted, then folded. They brought him out in handcuffs, his face twisted in something between shame and rage. Our eyes met. He didn't look away. He didn't have to say a word. I saw it all in his face. The jealousy, the entitlement, the obsession that started long before I ever realized. Later, the truth unraveled in pieces. Mike had been in love with Anna for years, silently, quietly, bitterly. He saw the affair as his opening, his chance to swoop in and rescue her, to expose her lies and make me see that he was the one who really cared. But then she chose Tom. And even after everything fell apart, she still didn't run to him. That's when he snapped. He followed her. Followed me. When Matt died, he used the name. Sent photos. Left messages. Orchestrated the entire campaign of fear. And Leah? She was never part of his plan. Just collateral damage. He sent her the photos not to win me over, but to make sure I stayed alone. The confrontation came a week later in a courtroom hallway. I was there to give a statement. He was there for arraignment. Anna showed up, against advice, because she needed to see him. She was 8 months pregnant, tired, worn down. He saw her and smiled. Still think I'm the bad guy, he said, hands cuffed in front of him. I know you are, I said. He shrugged. I did what you couldn't. I protected her. Protected you. You just let her walk all over you. Anna stepped forward. You didn't protect me. You terrorized me. You ruined lives. Mine. His. Yours. What you did isn't love. His face twitched, and for a moment, something broke inside him. He looked away, breathing hard. You always picked the wrong people, he muttered. I was right in front of you. You were, she said. And I never saw you because you were never real with me. You watched. You waited. You pretended. The hallway was silent. A few people turned to watch. I saw Leah's boss in the corner, whispering to someone. Everyone was listening. I didn't mean for it to go that far, Mike said, suddenly small. I just wanted you both to hurt. Like I did. Then he was led away. And just like that, it was over. But not really. Anna had the baby a few weeks later. A boy. Healthy. She named him Caleb. I was there in the hospital room. Not holding her hand, not whispering sweet things, just there. For him. Leah sent a message after hearing everything. I'm sorry you went through that. I really did care. I just couldn't live inside the wreckage. I didn't blame her. She didn't owe me anything. I just wrote back, thanks. Me too. Anna and I aren't together. We co-parent. She's in therapy. So am I. We're not friends, but we're not enemies either. We both carry pieces of what happened. Sometimes we talk about Mike. Mostly when Caleb starts asking about the people in the photos around the house. I told Anna to remove them, but she said he needs to know where he came from. Even if it's messy. She's not wrong. People at work still whisper sometimes. My mom asks if I'll ever settle down again. I don't have the answer. I don't know what I'm ready for or if I'll ever really be ready. But I do know this. Betrayal doesn't always come with loud bangs. Sometimes it's quiet. It creeps. It waits. It wears your best friend's face. And healing doesn't come like a light switch. It drips in slowly. One morning, you wake up and your chest doesn't feel as tight. You laugh without guilt. You look in the mirror and see a version of yourself that isn't completely broken anymore. That's where I am now. Not fixed, but not shattered either. Just human, trying,